town centres have a massive problem with grime. Pollution, litter, and fast food waste are assaulting the places where most of us live. This is Ilford in East London, where the problem's so bad they're sending in a team to sort it out. Tonight's mission is to tackle the parlous state of the pavements. Town centre manager Neil Davis assesses the problem.
The black spots on the actual paving surface, this is chewing gum that has, through time and pressure, just gone black in colour and has become almost cemented to the surface. And then we have these other areas of this, I don't even know what you'd call it, I call it tar, I'm not too sure what it is. If you was to come back in 20 years' time, you'll probably find this will all be diamonds because it's some sort of carbon.
The tarry deposits turning to diamond would be a surprisingly positive outcome. But why is Ilford so dirty in the first place?
We've almost got the perfect storm in terms of town centre cleanliness here. We've got low curb height, high footfall, long linger time, and quite a few fast food shops.
Ilford's perfect storm hasn't yet been made into a movie with George Clooney, but they do have a film of grime that's going to get worse. Britons are among the biggest consumers of gum in the world. In Ilford, the problem is made worse after the gum hits the pavement.
The footfall through Ilford is on average about 350,000 people a week. That's a lot of pairs of shoes pressing this chewing gum into the pavement.
And it's not as if they haven't tried to keep it clean.
We get to jet wash here every couple of months.
But jet washing and conventional methods have failed to shift the hardened gum. So tonight, Neil's bringing in a team of specialists with new technology to help in his mission to restore Ilford to its glory days.
We wanted to bring Ilford back to what it was. It used to be a real destination, and it's, you know, not quite there yet, but we're making some big changes.
Neil hopes that this time they'll not only transform the town, but the residents too.
What you tend to find is your attitude towards an area depends on how it looks. So if it looks like a rubbish dump, people tend to treat you like a rubbish dump. So that's why we're doing these activities, so that people really see what we're trying to do and will support us in their own way by using the bins and using the ashtrays and not dropping the litter.
For Ilford, tonight's the night. After dark, once the streets are free of chewing gum stamping residents, Neil will roll out his new weapon in the battle against grime. The streets of Ilford are paved with grime, but town manager Neil Davis has a cunning plan to restore the centre's appearance and, he hopes, its pride. When darkness has fallen and the residents are off the streets, the pavement specialists roll up, led by a woman in pink. Casting light into the Ilford darkness is ice blasting company boss Claire McKennan.
We've got the chewing gum, that's the main thing that we're going to be removing. We've got lots of grime that ordinary pressure washing can't remove.
Claire's secret weapon is dry ice, solid carbon dioxide at minus 78 degrees C.
This is the dry ice, this is what we're going to put into the hopper. What we've got in here is a chamber, that's where the dry ice goes.
The blaster fires pellets of dry ice at the pavement, freezing and shattering chewing gum and other contaminants. Then the dry ice turns into CO2 gas and disappears. Well, that's the theory.
This here, I mean, you're talking about years of grime, and so we try to pressure wash areas like that. It's almost like carbonized. It's really just, I don't know, in-ground in there. And it's quite slow at the moment, but once we get over there, and once the streets are sealed, we should never get a build-up like this again.
Slowly, the dry ice begins to do its stuff.
Chewing gum itself is such a stubborn problem. With this, as you can see, it just dissolves. It embrittles it and it just disappears to dust.
The dry ice attacks the dreaded gum in three ways. At minus 78 degrees C, it freezes the gum and makes it brittle. Then the ice pellets blast the brittle gum and shatter it. Finally, dry ice trapped in the grime expands in mini explosions as it turns back into gas. A stick of gum cost about 3p to make and 10p to get off the pavement. The ice blasting is working. but it's a small machine in a big town.
The ice blasting is probably taking a little bit longer than we anticipated, probably because of the condition that they're working with. If it was a bit cleaner, it'd probably be a bit quicker.
Following behind Claire's ice blaster is the jet washing team, flushing away the grime left behind.
With such low curb heights, we've had a really wet winter, and all of the muck and rubbish and the bus exhaust fumes, everything else, just gets blown onto the pavement, and it just gets collated into, I don't know, you just call it grime really, and then the jet wash is blasting that away in the water, and we'll get that right off, and then we'll be leaving with a really clean surface.
Ilford isn't the only place where the clean-up team has time against them. It's the early hours of the morning, and an overnight assault on the grime-ridden pavements of Ilford town centre is well underway. The dry ice blasting machine has been slow but effective, and at last town centre manager Neil can see some real progress.
You know, you couldn't achieve that really with a jet wash unless you were spending a lot of time and a lot of pressure on the area, otherwise you just wouldn't knock it all off. It's good though, because if you can notice, at the bottom, that bottom inch of the wall, that was black. Now, it's been restored back to probably the way it left the factory, a slightly off-white colour. How's it going?
Pardon?
How's it going?
Yeah, it's fine. Obviously, it's really, really caked on here.
Yeah. I'm presuming that piece of paving slab probably hasn't been that clean since probably about 1986.
Would you like to eat your dinner off it now?
Well, I'm not saying I've done about that. No.
In a night, they remove 1,500 pieces of gum from 100 square metres of pavement using 350 kilos of dry ice. The entire town centre will take 20 nights to clean of gum.
This is sort of fog effect you get on stars in your eyes. It's the...
And Claire should know, because at one time she was in showbiz herself.
It's one of those things. Years ago, I had a little phase of going on television programmes, and probably the one that my friends remember me for was Blind Date. I was picked. I was #1, as Scylla said, our clue. And yeah, it was good fun actually. It was a really good thing to have done. And here I am again, in a different sort of way.
This is the second stage of the cleaning. We've got the team out now, they're jet washing, which is removing the grime. So the ice blasting has removed the real grounding dirt and the collection of dirt, you know, almost like tar, and the chewing gum. And we've now got the jet washing coming along, and it's collecting all of the dirt and washing it off the surface. I'm never normally lost for words, but sometimes when you see the amount of sheer dirt that gets lifted by the jet washing, it leaves me speechless. It's like when the tide goes out and you're left with all of that material.
Well, if this is Neil speechless, he must be great in full flow.
So we can get the USP down.
The USP surface protector fills tiny holes in the surface of the stone and should make it far less absorbent. If it works, deep cleans like this will no longer be needed in Ilford town centre.
Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's it. That's it for tonight, and we can all go home to bed.
Cleaning a town centre is a massive job, and Neil's 3-day project has only tackled a fraction of the problem. But as its citizens once again flood onto the streets of Ilford, they know that where it has been blasted clean, it should stay that way for a while. Especially if they follow Claire's advice.
So that's my little campaign. Stop throwing the chewing gum on the floor, please.